Hello everybody, today I'll be showing you how to make this Comet VFX in UEFN. Okay, so in our UEFN, we're going to go to our content drawer. I just made some folders to organize. And then we're going to right click to create a new Niagara system. We're going to choose the directional burst preset, create, and name this whatever you like. We're going to go into here, and we're going to see the directional burst. So first of all, we know we're only going to have one comet at a time, so we're going to go into spawn burst instantaneous, change the spawn count to 1. Then we're also going to go to the sprite renderer. We don't want a sprite, we want a mesh, so we're going to unselect that, click the plus, and click mesh renderer. So you can add your own custom mesh, but for this tutorial I'll just use the default boulder that gets placed here. So now you'll see there's a boulder that gets shot out every second. We're also going to change how long this boulder lasts. We're going to change this to 10 to 15 seconds. And then we're also going to change the emitter state from once to infinite, and this loop duration is how often you want how much time between comet spawning you want. So if I change it to 5, there'll be 5 seconds between each comet. So we'll go down to the particle update. There's the gravity force and the drag. For this, I'm going to turn off the gravity force because I just don't want the comets landing on my players or coming down. I just want it to be in the sky. Then we're going to go to the drag force and also turn that off. In add velocity, I'm going to change the cone axis to 0, 0, 0 first, and then I'm going to change it to -1 here, so it's going straight down. So this cone angle will represent the possible, you can picture a cone, an upside down cone here, and that'll be the possible directions it can go with a 50-degree cone. If I increase this to 180, then it can go any direction that's going downwards or horizontal technically. But then I'm also going to change this inner cone angle to make this the minimum angle. So right now we have the 180, but what if we just want these little edges at the end here and here? We can make this inner cone 150. So now there's only a little bit of directions that our boulder can move, or our comet can move. So now you'll see every time it moves in that horizontal direction. See that? Or nearly horizontal direction. We're going to go back inside to add velocity, and we're also going to change the velocity to 10,000 because we know comets and asteroids, they don't move slowly when they come towards planets. So now you can kind of see the comet fly out. Also just going to delete this other VFX that's here so we don't get distracted. We'll drag this one up. So now we can see these boulders flying out. The next thing we want to do is add some rotation to the comets. So we're going to go to particle spawn. There's many ways to do this, but this is an easy way to me. There's a rotation force, but there's also a rotational velocity. This is the one I like to use. And then we can also just give this a random. Click the drop down and click random vector. And then vector scale can keep it 1. So now there'll be a random spin velocity with our boulder. So now that's basically the comet done. Now we're going to go onto the trail. So you're going to right click anywhere outside, click add emitter. We're going to click the directional burst again. Then we're going to go to the emitter update, and we're going to get rid of the spawn burst instantaneous. And we're going to switch up from, and where we want to spawn particles from other emitter. This will give you issue. You just click fix issue, and now what you want to do is you want to tell it what emitter you want to spawn particles from. So we want to spawn it from the initial one. So the name is directional burst, so we'll just look up directional, and you'll see there's 2 of them because that's the name for this one as well. But we'll click the first one. So now this is going to spawn particles wherever this particle is. So we're going to go down to the renderer as well, turn off sprite renderer. I'm just going to turn on mesh renderer. You could probably do this with sprites, but just this workflow does it with mesh. So I'm just going to click, I'm going to look up sphere. I'll have a sphere spawn behind it. And then I'll also change the spawn rate to 500. So now there'll be 500 spheres spawning per second from this boulder. So we can look at this in game. You can see 500, but they kind of stop after the start. To change that, we'll just go into the emitter state, and instead of once, we'll click infinite, and that should fix. So now there'll be spheres following it continuously. So next, what you want to do is for these spheres, they're kind of straight, maybe not too realistic. They have a velocity that gets added to them. Also, if you think about the trail, you might want to turn off the gravity. Maybe it doesn't make sense for the smoke or whatever fire coming off to have gravity associated. But then also something I like to do is the curl noise force again. So we're going to change this frequency down, and then we're going to put the strength up, and now maybe a bit more, maybe 1000. Now you can see the spheres that follow the comet kind of expand a little bit from the start. You can turn this even up higher to play with it if you want, but we'll go into the making it look nice part. So for the mesh render of the boulder, just put a material on this, so enable material override, and then you can click any material you want. I'm just going to use the default white emissive material, and then we're going to make a material for the particles that follow behind. So to do this, I'm going to go to our content drawer. I have a materials folder, so we're going to remake this material. Bright orange tutorial. So I'm going to go with a orange trail. So to do this, you're going to hold down 3 in the material editor and just click anywhere. And then we're going to change the RGB values. We're going to make red 1, and we're going to make green 0.4. This will give you a nice orange. We'll drag this out into empty space, and then it'll ask you what you want to connect it to. We're going to select the multiply node. We're going to multiply it by 1000. And then we're going to drag this into the base color and the emissive color. And then we're also going to go to the material, click the material, type usage, scroll to the bottom, and select automatically set usage. Now you can go back to your Niagara editor for the sphere or whatever mesh you want to add as the trail behind it. You also enable material override, and then you're going to select that material you just created. So bright orange tutorial. And now you'll see there's a nice, very bright, fiery trail that falls behind your comet.